Good morning, y'all. Okay, in this pan, I have already browned 1 pound of sausage with my onions and, my cut up mix that I always use. Now, in that same pan that we browned our sausage in, we're going to add 6 cups of chicken broth and bring that to a boil. So, we are making a breakfast casserole, a kiss my grits. That was 4 cups, so I need to pour 2 more cups here. Alright. 2 more cups of chicken broth. Now, we're going to let that come to a boil. Put that up on high. Alright, now in a few minutes we're going to add our grits to that. Now, in the meantime, let me bring you back over here so that we can get the other stuff prepared. Let's see. And I need you about right there. There we go. Okay, now we're making Kiss My Grits casserole, so it's a breakfast casserole. Ooh, that's kind of crooked. It's a breakfast casserole with grits. All right. So let me break out a cutting board here. This is those ones I got from Sam's. Now this one got some water spots on it, so I don't really use it for pictures anymore, so I'll just use it for this. Okay. We're going to take some Velveeta, and this is a 16-pound block, 1 pound, 16 ounce. Lord help me. All right, listen. So I gotta be. Debbie and I, my friend Debbie from Driftwood and Shine, are taking a class, and one of the newest things is a lot of you have been complaining that you haven't been seeing my posts. Well, whether you are watching this on replay or live, make sure you make a comment. Now, I know you girls out there who silently watch, don't really say much, and that's okay. I mean, honestly, I'm one of those girls too. When I watch my friends, a lot of times I'm working on something else, but I have them playing in the background, so I can't really comment, or I'll make one comment and then, finish what I'm doing. It is very important that you make a comment, because that tells Facebook that you want to keep seeing this material. So make sure you comment. If you're watching on replay, just hashtag replay. All right. Tell me where you're from. Where are you watching from? If you ever made something like this before. All right. So we got 8 ounces of Velveeta. We're going to chop this up in cubes. I'm watching that chicken broth over there to make sure when it boils. So let's cube this up. Get that ready. We're also going to use some other cheese. Now, I have Gouda over here, cheddar and Gouda. Usually, I like to use that Munson cheese, but Gouda is fine. And if you don't like Gouda, you can use something else. But I love grits. If you're from the South, it's a staple. Probably grew up on it. Probably started feeding your babies that before they had teeth. Grits is, a good thing here in the South. I know some people up north have never even had grits, which blows my mind. But I get it. I'm just going to make these cubes a little smaller because that way they melt a little easier. Because we're going to get all this melted up before it goes in the oven. Now you don't have to. You can leave these chunks and it would just take longer for it to melt. But we're going to take our grits off the heat and stir this in while it's still hot. So it'll just be easier if your cubes are just smaller. Big Daddy's still sleeping. Ethan stayed home today because his throat is bothering him. So at some point, we've got to go to the doctor. You know, at school, they pick up everything, even in high school. Okay, that's probably good. Let's see how that's coming along over there. Still not boiling. Looks like it's coming close, though. All right, now, to that, we're going to need to add, that's probably not big enough. We'll do this one. We're going to need 2 cups of fast, or quick 5-minute grits, okay? If you use the regular grits, which you can, just make sure you cook them a little longer than I'm going to. I left that cabinet open. Cook them as long as the package tells you to. Get kitchen scissors. So, new year, new me. I hate when people say that, but this year we ain't playing around. Any kind of ugliness on this page that shows up, you're getting banned. I had to ban one this morning that was a milestone follower. But I mean, just the last few lives she was on, she just was ugly. And today I had it. I was like, that's it. You're done. Okay. Now, we're boiling over there. So what we need to do is add our grits in, and we need to add them in kind of slowly. So I'm going to bring the camera back over to the stove. So hang tight. All right. Ready? Whee! Let's see. Can y'all see that? Okay, that's our boiling chicken broth. This is the same spoon I used to do my brown my sausage. We're going to add this in really slowly and stir. Shoot, I meant to find the doggone lid for this pot. Now, when I make grits, just plain grits, I don't always use chicken broth. I use a little bit, not this much. I don't put all chicken broth. Now, Big Daddy likes it like that, but to me, it's too chickeny. So, but for this casserole, we're going to use the chicken broth. Like that. It's kind of like flour, so if you just dump them in there, they'll clump, which is why you got to kind of stir them in slowly. All right. I'll stick this in the sink over here. We're going to turn that down to like a medium-low heat. And we're going to cook it with the top on. Let me grab that top. For about 5 to 7 minutes. I don't think this is the right lid, but I think it'll do. Maybe it is the right lid. All Now, let's go back over here to our cheese. Let's see. Buddy, you're not supposed to be in here. All right, now, also to this casserole, you're going to need half a cup. Yes, I have dishes. Half a cup of milk and 4 large eggs, which we are going to whisk. Beat them slightly. Look how pretty these, can you see them? How pretty these eggs are. Those yolks are bright yellow. That probably froze for a second. What y'all mad about? Oh, you can't see. All right. Okay. Now, as that cooks, let's see, 24. We're gonna get 30. You need to keep stirring these pretty regularly. And then I'll show y'all what they look like. Alright, now this recipe also calls for some butter. Okay, so we'll mix this. That's cool. Oh, okay. Nope. Alright, now I forgot what I was looking for. Butter. So I found some, I don't know how to say that, Munster cheese, I guess. Alright. Let me just look how much butter I need here, because I forgot. So usually I just put some butter in. So, let's see. A half a cup. Is 1 stick, so we'll just use 1 stick. Now this, you also want to cube up. Just, again, because we're going to melt it in the grits after we turn the fire off. Hey, bud. Alright, so we got that butter nice and cubed. You can also put it through a cheese grater. Melts really fast that way. I just didn't. Okay. I'm going to rinse this bowl out. I think I spilled egg on it. Now, could just use that one. All right, so I'm just gonna stick my butter and my cheese in this bowl because we're about to add it to our grits. My neighbor's the dog's barking through the fence at the neighbor. So Charlie, he's inside. Okay, now let's check our grits over here. Give them a nice stir. And they're thickening up really nicely. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead, Give it one more minute or so. And then we can get those out. Let's see. Now you're going to need a casserole dish that we're about to use. So let's get some Pam. People hate that I run around my kitchen, but honestly, I mean, don't you go from the stove to the counter when you cook? These are live videos. These aren't like edited. All right, so we got the Pam on it. Let's set this aside for a minute. And let's use this. This is actually something my aunt made for like plates that are hot. So I'm going to use it for this right here so we can show you. Okay. Here's our grits. They're nice and thick. How pretty that is. We're going to season it. Now, I already seasoned my meat. Get out of there, Charlie. With the onions and the cut up seasoning that I use. So, and some Tony's. The Tony's Sashery's Cajun. So that's what I seasoned my meat with. Now, remember that the chicken broth went in the same pan as the meat. So it's getting some of that flavor. Plus, I'm going to put that meat back in here. Now, let's add in our cheese and butter. Let me get him out of here. Come on, bud. Come on. Come on. All right. He wouldn't get help. He's not a dumb little dog. So let's get this stirred in. And we also need to, now, ideally, if you could find this cheese shredded, that would be best. But good luck finding it shredded. So this is the Munster. I only have one little pack of this, so we'll use Havarti also. I'm going to just break that up and add it in here. Good morning, everyone. Charlie, come here. Put that down. Let's get that stirred in so it can be melting. See what I mean? How we're melting this off the heat. So if you would have used large chunks of Velveeta, it just wouldn't. I mean, it would melt eventually. You could actually leave it on the heat a little while. Charlie, no. Leave it on the heat a little. Out. Out. Go. You could leave it on the heat a little while you're, like for a few minutes to melt this cheese. But you don't want to leave it too long. You don't want your grits to, no, burn. Make sure you don't throw any paper in. You can get it out, but wouldn't it be funny? I guess it wouldn't be funny, but if you missed it, you went to take a bite and you got a piece of paper. All right, so let's stir all this in here. Look at that goodness. We want our cheese to be melted before we add in our milk, because when we add our milk in, it's going to decrease the temperature of these. But see, it melts pretty good. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? I love grits. All right. Looks like I got the cheese melted. Mostly. Now if you got like, see right here, ooh, see right there, I got a little chunk. Can y'all see that? Little chunk right there. It's okay because this is going in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes on 350 because we're about to add our eggs. Now, let me tell you, one of the reasons why you're cooking it so long, I may not have to cook it that long, but one of the reasons why you cook it that long is because you don't have to cook your ground sausage until it's already done. We're going to add in half a cup of milk. Stir that in. You can cook it just until it's pink. But either way, if you cook it completely before or after, you want to make sure it's cooked all the way. Because sausage is sausage, pork. Let's get that incorporated in there nicely. There's chunks in there just like from the we call it grillade, stuck at the bottom of the pot. Pieces of onion and bell pepper. All right, now we're going to stir in our 4 beaten eggs. Now this recipe is definitely a cheese lover's recipe. Nice and incorporated in. You didn't want to throw in your eggs at first because it would cook them. So you want it to give this a good chance to cool down a little bit. Now you're not going to get rid of all this liquid, but you do want to make sure that your eggs are incorporated throughout your grits. So I'm making sure we scoop that middle out, scoop the eggs toward the middle, and stir. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to add in half of a bag, so about 4 ounces of shredded cheddar. I like sharp. You're going to reserve the rest because you're going to top your casserole with it. Stir that in. We're also going to add back in our pork, our sausage that we browned earlier. See how I seasoned it and it has the onions and the bell peppers already in there? All right, let's get that all mixed together. Once we get this combined, we're going to add it to our casserole dish. Now you can do this without meat if you prefer. But I don't know if cheese is considered an animal. I don't know. I don't know the rules of being vegan or plant-based. My mother-in-law could tell you. I don't think she eats cheese. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. All right, now we're going to transfer this to our casserole dish. Got a little piece right here. I don't want to get that on the bottom of my dish, so. All right, let's see if we could do this without burning ourselves. It's a little hard because this little pot is heavy. All that cheese and grits weigh it down. You could have used a spoon. All right. Sink is getting full there. All right, now, here it is. We're gonna put that in there. But before we put it in the oven, we're gonna cover it a minute. Yes, cover it. We're gonna use this Gouda cheese because I'm out of the Munster. But you really could have used Gouda in place of the Munster. It's really just a preference. So, put that on top, just like so. Sticky cheese. Not stinky, sticky. That way I don't have to open a new pack. Perfect. Now we're going to take the rest of our cheddar, put that right on top. All right, so let's go over what we talked about earlier because it looks like a lot more of you guys have hopped on. I know some of you have been complaining that I haven't, you know, you follow me and you got your notifications set, but you haven't been getting your notifications, or you know, you're not seeing me come up in your newsfeed. Now, the trick to it is you have to comment. So whether you're watching this on replay or watching it live, make sure you leave a comment. Say hi, tell me where you're at. Tell me if you make this recipe, and if you make it, do you make it different, and how you make it different. Okay. Now, we're going to pop that in the oven and let it bake for about 45 minutes. Well, I probably won't let it go that long because my sausage is fully cooked. Now, when you're browning your sausage, you don't have to fully cook it. So I'm thinking about 30 minutes. Pop this in there for about 30 minutes at 350, and then it's ready. But if you didn't cook your sausage all the way through, then you need to leave it in the 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, now I'm gonna pop this in the oven. I'm gonna do some dishes. When it's done, we'll come back and show it to you. We might post a picture because I have to be in a class in 15 minutes. So, don't forget to comment if you're watching on replay. Make sure you leave #replay, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. A little bit later on today, this will be on the website. If you want the recipe to print, you can go to mrsmunson.com. It'll be there. Give me a few hours, and it'll be there. Okay? All right, you guys have a great day. I'll see you soon.